Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to A.O.S Abroad. And today we are going to actually be talking about the topic Canada Express Entry 2024 latest updates and strategies. And our host for today is Rashidat Yusuf. If you can actually hear me, please put it on the comment section that yes, you are hearing me. If I'm audible enough, put it on the comment section. Let's know. I am Aziz Shuduru from Ontario, Canada. So let us know anywhere you're actually reaching us from. Um, I'm going to give it to Rashidat to actually converse and talk with us right now. So, Rashidat Yusuf, you have the floor.
Um, all right, thank you very much for today's opportunity, Mr. Aziz. Friendly reminder while we are waiting for other people to join us on this webinar, please, those of us here already, kindly tell us your name and where you're joining us from, as Mr. Aziz has just said. And please feel free to type your questions in the chat box. All the questions will be answered at the live Q&A after the webinar, like after the presentation. Okay. So let's just wait for like 2 to 3 minutes before we start so we can wait for other people to join. Um okay, I am currently in Canada, Brampton, Ontario, Canada. Yeah, so please let's know where you are chatting from, or where you're joining us from. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so let's start. So won't waste too much time on this webinar today. Now, what we're going to be discussing today is not really much. We're going to be talking about the introduction to express entry system, understanding the comprehensive ranking system, which is the CRS, and how it impacts your profile, the latest updates on immigration, refugees, and citizenship Canada, which is the IRCC, strategies for a successful express entry profile, and the summary of the webinar. Then we'll go for the question and answer session. Now, good morning once again, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good whenever you're watching this. How are you guys doing today? And thank you very much for joining this webinar on Canada Express Entry 2024 latest updates and strategy. As you all know, my name is Rashida Telefunke Yusuf. I am an IELTS coach with a demonstrated history of working in the e-learning industry. I have taught several students how to excel in the International English Language Testing System IELTS with at least band 7 in the listening, reading, writing, and speaking skill. I also have a year experience working in graphic designing with Pixelab and Canva, creating tens of logos, branding and identity illustration and photo design. I am honored to be your hosts for this webinar. Yeah, so now let's start. Introduction to Express Entry System. Express Entry System is a points-based immigration system used by the government of Canada to manage and process applications for permanent residents from skilled workers. It is a part of the Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, which is the IRCC selection process for economic immigration programs. Now, the overview of the Express Entry System. Express Entry manages the profiles of candidates applying for four main economic immigration programs. Number one is the Federal Skilled Worker Program, the Federal Skilled Trades Program, the Canadian Experience Class, and the Provincial Nominee Program. Now, expression of interest, the EOI. Prospective immigrants must first create and complete an online profile by providing information about their skills, their work experience, language proficiency, education, and other factors. This profile is considered an expression of interest in immigrating to Canada. Those who appear to meet the criteria of one or more of the three federal immigration program managed through Express Entry, that is the Federal Skilled Worker Program, the Federal Skilled Trade Program, and the Canadian Experience Class are automatically entered into the express entry pool of candidates. Then the top ranked candidates are invited to apply online for permanent residence. Before you think of creating an express entry profile, you must have taken a designated language test, have your educational credentials assessed by a designated organization against Canadian standards if you're educated outside of Canada. And we know that most of the people applying for permanent residence are educated from outside Canada. Find out whether your work experience falls within a qualifying skill type as per the Government of Canada's job classification system. Now, comprehensive ranking system, which is the CRS. Candidates receive a score based on IRCC's comprehensive ranking system and are ranked against each other in the express entry pool. Express entry candidates may score CRS points on the basis of human capital, which is your age, education, official language proficiency, and work experience. Additional factors that says qualifying offers of arranged employment or Canadian education credentials and a provincial or territorial nomination. Regular draws. On a regular basis, the Canadian government conducts express entry draws and invites the highest ranked express entry candidates to apply for permanent residence. Express entry rounds of invitations are done at a frequency and in numbers that align with IRCC's processing capacity and annual level targets. Round of invitations can be general and includes all programs. That is, top ranked candidates are selected regardless of immigration program or be program specific. That is, top ranked Canadian experience class candidates only. All right. Now, invitation to apply. Candidates will receive an invitation to apply have the opportunity to submit a formal application for permanent residence within a specified time frame. All right. This is from the date of issuance of an invitation to apply. That is from the date of issuance of an invitation to apply. You have 60 calendar days to submit a complete online application for permanent residence through your online account. Now let's talk about the application process. The application for permanent residence is a dynamic form that asks the applicant questions based on their profile. For example, if the applicant declares an accompanying spouse and children, the system prompts the applicant with questions about the spouse and the children. All right. The government then assesses the application based on program requirements and eligibility criteria. Being in the express entry pool does not guarantee that a candidate will be issued an ITA, especially if you did not meet the required CRS score. Likewise, an ITA does not guarantee that an applicant will receive a positive decision on their application for permanent residence. Okay, so to avoid this, you have to make sure that all your documents are complete and correct. All right, failure to provide proof like documented proof of the claims made in your express entry profile on the basis of which you were invited to apply when you're submitting your online application will lead to a refusal of the application. If you misrepresent your qualifications in your express entry profile and or your application, you may face a 5-year ban from submitting any further immigration application to Canada, including temporary residence application. Okay, applicants who apply through express entry are subject to standard admissibility requirements, for example, health and security checks. Now, understanding the CRS is crucial for individuals applying for permanent residence in Canada through the express entry system. In order to rank immigration candidates, the Canadian government developed a merit-based point system that assigns a score to each candidate in the express entry pool. This point system is called the CRS. That's a comprehensive ranking system. And the score assigned to each candidate is called the CRS score. All right. Any person who submits a profile to the express entry pool of candidates is assigned a CRS score out of 1,200 points. You should know that IRCC does not disclose information regarding the date of the draw or the number of ITAs that will be issued. They don't. All right. Now, here is an explanation of how the CRS impacts your profile. Now, a higher CRS score increases the likelihood of receiving an invitation to apply during express entry draws. Candidates with higher CRS scores are typically prioritized because they are considered to have a strong potential to contribute to the Canadian economy. Now, strategies to improve CRS score. There are many ways an applicant can increase their CRS score once in the express entry pool. CRS points are largely tied to the applicant's language ability, education, work experience, and age, as I've talked about earlier. Additional points can also be claimed for having a sibling in Canada, speaking French at a high level, receiving a job offer in the country, or securing a nomination from the provincial nominee program. Now, how a provincial nominee program increase your CRS score? Under Canada's constitution, the federal government and each province and territory share the authority to manage the country's immigration system. As such, the provincial nominee program allows Canadian provinces and territories to nominate individuals who wish to immigrate to Canada and who are interested in settling in a particular province, and also for candidates with low CRS score in the express entry pool. Now, each PMP has at least one immigration stream that is aligned with the federal express entry immigration selection system. Provincial nominations issued under this express entry aligned streams are known as enhanced nomination. The benefits of enhanced PMP streams are that they award express entry candidates an additional 600 CRS points, which essentially guarantee they will receive a permanent residence invitation under express entry. Okay, another major benefit is they can have their permanent residence application processed by the federal government quicker, typically within 6 months. The other way to obtain permanent residence through the PMP is under a base stream. Here, you apply to a PMP stream directly, and once you obtain a provincial nomination, the federal government will process your permanent residence application. All right. Candidates invited under the PMP are expected to settle in the province they are nominated under. Now, the CRS score required for PMPs. Each province sets their own eligibility requirements for PMPs. Some of these programs use the express entry system to find their potential nominees, while many of these programs use their own point system. Some provinces may use a candidate CRS score, among other factors, to decide whether they will issue an invitation to apply for nomination. Although these CRS scores may change from draw to draw, some provinces states the minimum CRS score required to be considered for nomination. For example, Ontario's Human Capital Priorities Stream does not send invitation to candidates with a CRS score lower than 400. And Alberta's Express Entry Stream will only consider candidates with a CRS score of at least 300. Now, let's talk about adaptability factors. Adaptability factors such as having a spouse or common law partner with language proficiency or Canadian work experience can contribute additional points to a candidate's CRS score. If a spouse or common law partner is listed as non-accompanying in an application or is already a citizen or permanent resident of Canada, the applicant will earn points as a single applicant. All right. But if an applicant is married and has an accompanying spouse, the spouse should provide language results and an educational credential assessment report for all secondary education. This will enable the candidate to secure the maximum number of points when including a partner on their application. Now, let's move on to latest updates from Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada IRCC. Each year, the Federal Department of IRCC releases a new immigration levels plan, which it uses to guide its operation. In 2023, last year, IRCC planned to welcome more than 465,000 immigrants to Canada. But now in 2024, Canada's newcomer target is 485,000 new permanent residents. All right. And in both 2025 and 2026, Canada will aim to welcome an additional 500 immigrants in each year. Now, the following table summarizes Canada's immigration targets between 2024 to 2026 by immigration class. As you can see on the screen, we have immigrants category, 2024 target, 2025 target, 2026 target. The overall plan, as I've said earlier, is 485 for 2024, 500 for 2025 and 2026 each. And then we have overall French speaking permanent residents admission outside Quebec. In 2024 is 26,100, 2025 and 2026, 31,500 and 36,000 respectively. All right, as you can see on the screen, you can check that later on. We have the economic class. The total economic class will be 281,135 for 2024. That's the target for 2024. The target for 2025 and 2026 is 301,250 each year. All right, then we have the family. We have the spouses, partners, and children. 2024, they are looking to welcome 82,000 immigrants. For 2025 and 2026, they are looking to welcome 84,000 immigrants each year. All right, and the total, we have the parents and grandparents, which is 32,000 in 2024, 34,000 in 2025 and 2026, and the total family for 2024 target is 114,000 and 118,000 for 2025 and 2026. All right, then we have the refugees and protected person, we have the humanitarian and compassionate and others. Okay, now economic immigrants make up more than 281,000 of the 485,000 newcomers this year, or 58% of them. Yeah, this year 2024, right? This clearly illustrates where Canada's immigration priority lies. If you are considering a Canada immigration project, now is the time to set in motion. Okay, as the country looks to consolidate its position as the world's foremost receiver of newcomers. Now, tips for a successful express entry profile. Your profile for the express entry will be ranked based on how various aspects of your profile, such as age, educational qualifications, work experience, adaptability factors, and even spouse related factors. The CRS gives you points for each of these factors. Since a high CRS score is the number one way to improve your chances of immigrating to Canada, it is very important that you make the best possible profile. All right. Now, number one is to check your eligibility very carefully. Some applicants treat the initial eligibility assessment as a mere formality, which is not. All right. Provide accurate, like you need to provide accurate and detailed information, preferably with documentary proof in hand for an accurate and credible preliminary assessment. This will ensure the final step of creating your express-entry profile will be a simpler and easier affair. Additionally, this will give you more time to analyze the various factors impacting your CRS and to take steps to boost your score and create the perfect profile that will help you qualify for an ITA at the earliest possible time. Now, apply early for high human capital ranking. The CRS grants the highest score if your age is between 20 and 29 years. The number of points you can receive drops off quickly once you pass 30 years of age. While you may be delaying submitting a profile so you can earn more work experience, you might have an age penalty if you wait too long. Remember, your express entry profile is valid for 1 year, just 1 year, but there's nothing stopping you from submitting again if it expires before you receive an ITA. The perfect profile would be the one where an applicant has acquired quality education and substantial work experience before turning 30 years of age. The next one is to improve your educational qualifications. The CRS values education very highly. A high school diploma gives a candidate 30 CRS points towards their total expert entry score, with a degree course of 3 years or more scoring 120 points. Those with doctorates, PhD score 150 points. Improve your educational credentials. uh, Improving your educational credentials takes time and money. Yeah, so if you do have the resources to go back to school, it can have a massive payoff for your CRA score. Level of education. Whatever level of education you claim, you are going to need an educational credential assessment, that's ECA, to prove it. And ECA basically evaluates how your degree compares to the one you would earn in Canada. The Canadian equivalent of your degree is how your profile actually earns points in the CRS. While you may have a master's degree, if it's only equivalent to a Canadian bachelor's degree, you will only be able to claim up to 120 points rather than up to 135 points. Since the level of education is so important to create the perfect profile, it's also important that you get your credentials right. While most candidates only need to have their highest earned degree assessed, it may be a good idea to get all your post secondary credentials assessed to make sure you are claiming as many CRS points as possible. Excuse me. All right, so now let's move on to the English and French proficiency. Language proficiency is one of the most important parts of the perfect express entry profile. Meeting the minimum eligibility requirements may actually not be enough to have a competitive profile. Doing well on your language test, on the language test you take, can significantly increase your CRA score in several ways. It's also a much easier and quicker way to boost your profile competitiveness compared to improving your educational credentials. You should take the language test as soon as possible. You need the result to assess your initial eligibility, and you can always update your profile if you retake them and get a better score. All right, now let's move on to work experience. The CRS uses the National Occupational Classification, which is the NOC matrix, to assign points for work experience. The NOC matrix assigns a skill level and 4 digits code to every occupation in Canadian labor force. Identifying and claiming your NSA code is really important when creating your expert-centric profile. Now, comprehensive detail in the profile. Remember that whatever NOC code you claim when you create your expert-centric profile, you are going to have to be able to prove it if you receive an ITA. For Canadian immigration purposes, your job title doesn't matter much. You need to choose the NOC code that matches your actual job duties. All right. If you include a detailed description of your duties and responsibilities, it can improve your chances of receiving an IT and obtaining permanent residence in Canada. And now don't forget your spouse or your common law partner. Your profile is assigned different CRS points depending on whether or not you are applying with an accompanying spouse or common law partner. Your expert entry profile can actually earn points for your partner's core human capital factor, such as work experience and language proficiency. So you should try calculating your score with and without your partner to see which would be more competitive. Also, try calculating how many points your partner's profile would receive if they were the principal applicants instead of you. They might just be more competitive. All right. If you choose to apply without your spouse and are granted permanent residence, you can always sponsor them for permanent residence later. All right. Now, if you have a spouse or common law partner, you can double your chances by both submitting an expert central profile. If you or your partner receives an ITA, the other person can withdraw their own profile and join the second person. All right. Now, how to prepare for the Canadian job market? Build your network. Networking can be a great source to find new job opportunities. Job searching is a process, a very long process at that. Relying solely on online postings and applying to them is only a part of the puzzle. Now you need to customize your resume in the Canadian format. You can hire a career consultant to help you in creating a Canadian style resume if you are doubting yourself. All right. And now that will be all for today. Let's just like summarize all what you have been saying since. And the first one is to stay informed. Regularly check the official website of Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada for the most up-to-date information on express entry. Policy changes and updates are typically announced on their website. All right. Language proficiency. Enhance your language skills, as language proficiency is a crucial factor in express entry. If applicable, retake language tests to improve your CRS score. Educational credential assessment. Ensure your educational credentials are assessed by a designated organization like WES. This is a key requirement for express entry, and having a high level of education can positively impact your CRS score. Now, work experience. Gain additional work experience in your field, as this contributes significantly to your CRS score. Make sure your work experience aligns with the National Occupation Classification codes accepted by the express entry. Job offers and provisional nomination. If possible, try to secure a valid job offer from a Canadian employer. A job offer can significantly boost your CRA score. Additionally, consider applying for PNP to increase your chances of receiving an invitation. Express entry door. Pay attention to the trends in express entry draws. Understanding the minimum CRA scores and the frequency of draws can give you insights into the competitiveness of the pool. You can adjust your strategies accordingly. Now, continuous improvement. Regularly update your express entry profile with any changes in your circumstances, such as obtaining additional education, gaining work experience, or improving your language skills. Family members, if applicable, ensure that the information about your spouse or your common law partner is accurate. Their skills and language proficiency can also contribute to your overall CRA score. Now, consult with an expert. Consider consulting with immigration experts or professionals who can provide personalized advice based on your specific situation. They can guide you on the latest trends and strategies. All right.
Yeah, good
Now,
point, sir.
would you like to work with us? Then you can book a 5 minutes clarity call, like right now. This is going to be a free introductory consultation session where you can only ask
Okay,
five
sorry,
most
please.
important
I'll
questions
send you in
about your
small
travel
PDF.
goals and
Can
get
you
them
drop it
answered
in
without
WhatsApp chat
no
instead? I
fee.
would
All
appreciate
right.
that too.
All you just need to do is to
Thank you.
drop a genuine review at the end of the discussion. We will be expecting your call. All right. So moving on, let's answer some frequently asked questions. Now, some people might be asking, what is the federal skilled worker class? The federal skilled worker program is for skilled workers who have work experience and want to become permanent residents. Federal skilled trade class. The program allows skilled tradespeople with at least 2 years of work experience and at least moderate proficiency in English or French to qualify for permanent residence and settle in Canada. Canadian experience class. This is for skilled workers who have Canadian work experience and want to become permanent residents. Another question is, do PMP immigrants find good jobs in Canada? Yes. Research by IRCC, Statistics Canada, and Canada's provinces and territories shows that immigrants who arrive through the provincial nominee program have strong labor market outcomes. The research shows that PMP immigrants tend to earn high wages, have high rates of labor force participation and employment, and low rates of unemployment. Reason for the success of PMP immigrants are PMP immigrants are nominated based on meeting the local labor market needs of Canada's provinces and territories. They have high levels of human capital, including strong language skills, education, work experience, and Canadian connection. PMP selection criteria often screens for Canadian work experience. Canadian education, and prearranged employment in Canada. Another question is, how does the PMP process work? The process depends on which PMP stream you're applying to. PMP streams either have a paper-based process or an online process through expert entry. The biggest benefit of going through an expert entry stream is you can have your permanent resident application processed by IRCC within 6 months, compared with longer processing times for paper-based applications. For paper-based process, you will need to submit a paper application for permanent residence to IRCC. And for express entry process, you will need to create an express entry profile on IRCC's website and indicate you have been nominated. Another question is, do I need a job offer, or do I need a job offer, or do I need to study in Canada to obtain a provincial nomination? No, that is not compulsory. Various PMP streams do not require a job offer or Canadian work or study experience in order for candidates to be eligible to successfully receive a nomination. Another question is, can I apply to Express Entry and a PMP at the same time? Of course, you can. You can submit an Express Entry profile and also apply directly to a PMP stream at the same time. One of the benefits of entering the Express Entry pool is to make yourself visible to provinces who can review your profile and decide to provide you with an invitation to apply to your PMP. If you accept their invitation, you would submit a complete PMP application to the province. Once the application is approved, you will receive a nomination certificate which will provide you with an additional 600 CRS points under Express Entry. And then you will receive an invitation to apply for permanent residence under Express Entry. Which PMP stream is the easiest? Each candidate's circumstances are different. All right. You should conduct your own research, make your own research, or reach out to an immigration lawyer or consultant in order to identify which PMP options may be most suitable for your situation. Okay. Can my family come with me if I obtain a provincial nomination? Yes, close family members can move to Canada with you and also obtain permanent residence. When we say close family members, they are your spouses or common law partner, dependent children of you or your spouse or common law partner, and dependent children of your dependent children, grandchildren. Dependent children are under 22 years old and not a spouse or common law partner. 22 years of age or older, depended significantly on financial support from their parents before the age of 22 and cannot support themselves financially due to a physical or mental condition. Which provinces in Canada have the most jobs? Canada is a diverse economy with many job opportunities in each province. It is recommended that you make your own research again to identify job opportunities that meet your professional background and career goals. Each PMP stream is also designed to provide skilled worker candidates with the best opportunity to succeed in the province. This is because PMP streams are each set up to identify candidates who have the professional backgrounds and skills that are in high demand in the province or territory. Can I move to another province after immigrating through the PNP? Canada's constitution allows Canadian citizens and permanent residents to move freely within the country. You are allowed to move to another province if you have obtained permanent residence through the PNP, but you are strongly encouraged to be honest about your residency intentions when submitting your PNP application. Misrepresenting your intentions is a serious offense and can lead to consequences for you. It is best to pursue a PNP stream in a province that you believe meet your professional and personal needs. All right. Once again, if you want to book a clarity call with us, you want to work with us, you want us to work hand in hand, all right, you can book a 5 minutes free clarity call now, where you can only ask five most important questions about your travel goals and get them answered without a fee. All you just need to do is to drop a general review at the end of the discussion. All right. Thank you very much for attending this webinar. I really appreciate all of you for your time. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it. And that will be all for today.
All right. That's a very wonderful session. Thank you very much once again. Please, if you have any questions for those who actually joined the session, if you have any questions at all, please drop it on the comment section, and we'll actually take the next few minutes to answer those questions for you. And please do not forget again that we would appreciate you subscribing, liking, and also sharing this with your friends and with your family. Okay. Any other questions from those who actually watched? Okay, Timmy Cribbles, thank you. Can't wait for this juicy webinar. Okay, well, we have had our webinar already. Thank you very much for actually staying and enjoying the session.
Thank you.
So we're expecting any feedback from any other persons before we actually call it a day today. We'll give about a minute or two to answer questions that you may possibly ask about Canada Express Entry 2024, the latest updates and strategies. All right. It seems we have no questions, so everything has really been understood by our attendees. So if you have any questions whatsoever later on, or you want to actually work with us or with our immigration partners, you can always reach out to us through the link that we would also share on the comment section. So just go through the comment section, and you can ask your questions through the link that has been provided therein. So if you have any questions later on, we would be expecting to hear from you through the link that has been distributed right now. So thank you very much, everyone, once again. And we do hope that you have a lovely week ahead. So bye for now, everyone.